Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into Under Review episode 160. We're coming at you live.
Yes, sir. Got another doozy inbound. We got the Super Bowl next week. The last game of the season until next season. So the end of the season is upon us. As quickly as it came, it is gone.
Yeah, gonna miss football. Hopefully we can enjoy this one last game. Hopefully it'll be a good one, and hopefully it'll end with the Chiefs getting a nice three-peat. That's what we're all rooting for. Starting off the stat of the week, brought to you by our sponsor, Andrew's Logistics. Breaking news, not really anymore, happened this past weekend out of Dallas. Another GM has joined Jerry Jones in the boneheaded GM Ring of Honor here that we have in Dallas now. Nico Harrison traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis and Max Christie. It was a three-team trade. We won't get into the details, but essentially the biggest superstar that Dallas has right now is now gone out of the blue. Shocked everyone. We're not an NBA podcast by any means, but we are a Dallas podcast, and you can't help but just never ever want to watch the Mavs play again. So that's your stat of the week, brought to you by Andrew Logistics.
Yeah, trading away a generational player. They were supposed to
franchise guy.
build a statue of him at the end of his career. Yeah. That was the kind of guy that he was, and he's your player of the week. Last year, bringing the team to the NBA Finals, and they saw it fit to trade him away. He's been the centerpiece for years now. He was supposed to replace Dirk, and everyone knows how huge Dirk was here for the city of Dallas, and he was going to be that next guy, and I think it really took everyone by surprise.
Let go of the future, basically.
Nobody expected it. Literally nobody, not even Luka.
I think the only person that wanted the trade was our GM and the owner. And Mark Cuban would have never let this happen, but he did sell the team. And, it's so bad that they're giving season ticket holders refund options for the rest of the season if they want to take it. We went from a finals contender to a poverty franchise pretty quickly. And the only way to fix it is winning the championship this year. That's probably not going to happen. So they're saying it's the biggest trade in NBA history. Whether or not it is, that's not what we're here to debate. But Dallas lost a great one, so we gave him the highest honor we could, making him player of the week here at Under Review, and we wish him well. But on to the more exciting sport and the biggest sporting event of the year, the Super Bowl, Chiefs-Eagles, a rematch from 2 years ago. And two similar teams, got a few different faces. Nick, what are you looking forward to watching most about the Super Bowl?
Well, it's going to come down to Saquon once again. I mean, we've been saying it all playoffs is that you're going to have to weather the storm of the Eagles' run game and force Jalen Hurts to throw. And if you do that, you should be okay. One thing that's unmatched is Patrick Mahomes' ability to perform in clutch situations. He's no stranger to playing in big games like these, so obviously he's going to be at his best, which is good. But, the Eagles are a somewhat complete team, but I do think the Chiefs' defense is going to come in and play a pretty big role in stopping the run, and then the Chiefs' offense is just going to do what they do. They're going to go out there and score. So I think it's going to be shootout, high-scoring game. Both offenses are going to be rolling, doing their thing. I think it'll be a good watch.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a good game. All signs and media members are pointing to the Eagles right now. Everybody's rooting hard for the Eagles, it seems like, in terms of the sports media. The country in general hates both of these teams. But Nevertheless, like we said before, all these people talking about boycotting the Super Bowl, nobody's going to be boycotting the Super Bowl. Everybody will be watching as usual. This is the biggest game of the year. Nick and I will for sure be locked in. I think the Eagles definitely are the better team when you look at it on paper, but you could argue that the Niners and the Eagles the year before that were the better teams going up against Kansas City. The last 2 years, I don't think that they've technically stat sheet wise been the better team in either Super Bowl, but it really comes down to that X factor of experience and quarterback play. And I'll tell you one thing for sure: the Kansas City Chiefs have the way better quarterback in the Super Bowl. Um, Everybody gives Brock Purdy flack for kind of being a system QB. You want to talk about a system QB? That would be Jalen Hurts. Ladies and gentlemen, he does not make any more plays than he has to, and it's kind of, don't lose us the game mentality when it comes to Jalen Hurts. So like Nick said, you got to load the box, stop Saquon, force Jalen Hurts to throw. I don't think that the one-on-one opportunities will be there as much as they were for the Eagles against the Commanders, because the Commanders' defense, secondary especially, Marshawn Lattimore especially, was a liability, and A.J. Brown had a nice day. Jalen Hurts really wasn't having to do much, just put the ball up. He was getting beat every time. McDuffie and the boys, Kansas City, I think will have a better day.
Yeah, this is definitely the best defense that I think the Eagles have faced. Definitely since the playoffs, but also in a while. I mean,
Yeah.
they compare completely different to the Rams, the Packers, the Commanders. I think this is the most complete, and really it comes down to secondary wise because they're going to be able to lock up A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert, and then
Right.
it's going to be, can you help weather the run game a little bit? Just because that's going to be, it's going to be ground and pound.
Yeah. I'm just, expecting a lot of run attempts from both teams, because for some reason Kansas City also likes to just get those 2 4-yard gains at a time. The Eagles, I feel like, are going to have to turn to the pass at some point, which they really haven't had to. Nobody's forced them to throw in the playoffs this far. They kind of do it whenever they feel like it, but they've never really had to. Uh, Chiefs will, be looking to get a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts. He's shown that he struggles a ton when he's under pressure. They do have the best O-line in the league, but I think they're better at run blocking than they are at pass blocking, as we've seen in this playoffs. And Jalen Hurts just kind of folds and holds the ball under pressure. He's not very good at making the right decision, throwing it away when he's in the pocket. So if you can keep him in the pocket and get pressure on him, that's the name of the game right there. If he gets outside, he's able to make those plays with his legs. And I think the Eagles are looking at it the same way for Patrick Mahomes. He's the same. He makes great plays out of the pocket. When he's in the pocket, statistically, he's a little worse, but nowhere near as bad as Jalen Hurts is, because Patrick Mahomes is already a Hall of Famer, and he's shown that he can do this. So the Chiefs, it's interesting because they don't have a number one receiver. They've got 5 guys that he'll throw to outside of the tight ends, and so it's going to be tough for the Eagles to cover everybody super tight. And so, it'll be an exciting matchup, hopefully, and hopefully the Eagles lose.
Yeah, I mean, like last week, Juju Smith-Schuster had a big game, and he hadn't caught a ball in like 3 weeks or something. It felt like. So it's just really, you never know who it's going to be, who's going to step up and be the big weapon for them that game. Obviously they've got like a Travis Kelce and Xavier Worthy, but you just don't know who it's going to be for the Chiefs next week.
Yeah, but you do know who it's going to be for the Eagles. That would be Saquon Barkley, like we said over and over again, because as we've talked about for the last 4 or 5 weeks, we've said it about every team. You stop Saquon, you stop the Eagles, and nobody has been able to, because I don't think they've really tried. So, I mean, in the NFC Championship, first offensive play that the Eagles get, you cannot let Saquon Barkley take the ball 60 yards for a touchdown. You got to know that they're running the ball with Saquon on the first play. The thing with Saquon is you got to get hits on him early because once he gets into open space, he's a real threat. He's very hard to take down, as we've seen. Uh, it stinks that Saquon is on the Eagles. I think they're a ton better playing the Chiefs now than they were 2 years ago. But the Chiefs defense under Spags, who everyone's saying is going to be a Hall of Famer, has been pretty good at stopping elite running backs in the past. And so they've had plenty of time to prep, and hopefully they know what they're doing going out there. But I think the name of the game, as we've seen in the last few games, fumbles. Okay? If you give the Eagles 3 takeaways on fumbles, then you're probably not going to win this game. You got to play, you got to hold on to the ball. I think that's the name of the game here.
Yeah, ball security is huge. Obviously, you think about the Commanders game, you think about the Rams game,
They've
where,
been getting lucky.
yeah, they're getting these lucky fumbles that bounce their way right when the momentum should be shifting to the other team, and it just immediately kills whoever they're playing. Like the Rams, they should have flipped the game, honestly, but because they got that huge safety, and then they fumbled, and then Eagles took it, scored some points, and then the Rams fumbled again, and then that was pretty much the end of the game. And then the Commanders were pretty much down the whole time, and whenever they were trying to get back into the game, fumbled the kickoff return, and then fumbled again later on. So, I mean, it was just not a good day for Washington. So the name of the game for Kansas City is you got to hang on to the ball. Haven't really seen that be that big of an issue for them in recent weeks,
every team
but
seems
you
to
never know.
forget. Yeah, I think another thing, Chiefs are good at running that clock down. They're good at those 14, 15 play drives and taking that clock away from the other team, and that's what you got to do with the Eagles. Try to take as much time away from them as you can to take away the run a little bit, and like we said, force Jalen to throw. So, yeah, it should be a good Super Bowl. I've seen a lot of sneak peeks for some commercials, so maybe we'll have a few doozies there as well. But all you people boycotting the Super Bowl, enjoy watching it on Sunday night, and looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. So here's like to end our shows and interview. I brought you a quote. The more difficult the victory, the greater the happiness in winning. That's the truth.
Ain't that the truth? Thank y'all for tuning in this week. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy the last game of the season. And if you're in Dallas, just enjoy watching other teams succeed while ours continue to be bad until the end of March when baseball starts. So I don't even – Nick, how are the Stars doing right now, actually? I haven't really been keeping
They're good. Second in the Central, third overall in the NHL. So
so we've got hockey and basketball or baseball.
Yeah, come April, we'll be doing fine. Because by April we'll be ramping up for the NHL playoffs, and then April baseball season will be underway. So once April hits, we'll be sitting pretty in Dallas.
Yeah, so come April, download Victory Plus, watch the teams that are on there, and don't worry about the other teams that are on everything else. So thank y'all for tuning in this week. We'll see you next week with our Super Bowl recap on Under Review.